My name is Péter Árvai, and I serve as the Deputy Director of the International Center here at the University of Pécs. In this, I also the head of international student recruitment, so I oversee all the sales aspects of student recruitment. I think it's kind of just found me in a way. Like this is my first job I was 10 years ago. I was in my final years of my master's in international relations here at the University of Pécs, and in that year, the director of the International Center was appointed to be a director, who was also my professor. And I approached him to, if there's a way to work there as a student. And then I just, kept on working. And then I first worked with incoming exchange students. And then I moved to full-time students and to recruitment when we set up and introduced DreamApply. So that basically, because I was I was a student first, and then came in. So I always got I never got a full-time job. I always got projects, and one of the project was to introduce DreamApply. And this is how, when you introduce an admission system, you have to learn in and out everything about your admissions, your study programs and everything. And this is how I basically learned into the job. And then since then, it kind of became a passion. The University of Pécs is, proud to be the first university in Hungary. We have a huge tradition, over 650 years. We were also the first ones to offer English taught education in the early 1980s. We started with medicine, and basically in the following decades we always added a few programs. And as I said, since the early 2010s we started to do it in a larger scale, and now we offer over 100 international programs in English from basically foundation level to PhD. Historically, the faculties have a huge autonomy, meaning that there are separate processes and separate workflows. Even there's no technical reason to do it, but I think whoever works in higher education knows the power of this is how it's always been. It's hard to unify these processes. Obviously, DreamApply was a great tool to do that, or to start this process. I think it was in 2016, 2017, something like that. One of our colleagues who back then worked at our Faculty of Humanities, he started to see the number of applications are rising, and back then there were even bigger differences between the faculties in terms of how they process an application, what type of internal workflows they have, and what kind of tools they use. And I think my colleague fell in love with the system at first sight. So it was he came back from this start week with the idea this is what we need. The strategic goal was for the university which was set in 2015, that we want to double the number of international students by 2020. And we did that. So we started from around 2,300 students, and now in 2025 we are beyond 5,500. Obviously we are at the end of our physical infrastructure and everything, so we are in a very good shape, to put it this way. But this is a massive growth. I mean, in a city of 150,000 people to grow by 3,000 international students who are all on campus, it's huge. And we are talking about enrolled students. So if you multiply it by all the applicants, it was an unscalable growth in terms of applications and enrollments as well. So it was, I think, the last couple of years in that regard is a tremendous success. But we always have to say that, the whole word was like, all the stars were aligned to do that. The world economics were booming until 2019. After that, for some reason we were coming out from whatever happened in geopolitics. We came out of it as a winners in terms of student recruitment. So we had an easy job, basically. That's what I wanted to say. And how DreamApply supported this process is obviously that DreamApply made this work bearable for two reasons. One is that DreamApply is a great tool to deal with a growing number of applications without significant growth in terms of workload, and that's very important. The other thing is the ergonomy of the platform, because whoever works in admissions, if you don't use DreamApply, you most probably working with huge amount of data sheets, of spreadsheets, of tables, or whatnot. And I think that in terms of well-being of my colleagues, it matters a lot what they have to stare at 8 hours a day. It matters a lot if it's not a spreadsheet, but like a surface that that it's a feast for an eye compared to a spreadsheet. So I think that this makes a real difference. That when you open up your computer in the morning, like what are you gonna see? What is gonna be your gut feeling when you see that platform? And I think DreamApply is doing a really great job to make it more personal. When it comes to personalization, I think it's also very important that how the platform is built. It's basically, and I think it has an enormous effect on the mindset of our admission people, that because when you log into the system, you instantly see faces. And I think it's a very important mindset question, that we are not talking about rows and columns. We're talking about people. And we were talking about how like what does it take to be a good admission people, that to understand that yes, to some extent we are selling shampoo and soap. It's the same thing. I mean, it's a brand. You market it, you promote it, you sell it. But on the other hand, this is real, flesh and blood people. And I think it's a very important, not so highlighted feature of DreamApply, that you constantly see the faces you deal with. And I think it's just, it helps to communicate better, because it's just constantly reminding you that those are actual kids on the other side. As I said, at the University of Pécs, we have 10 faculties plus the foundation program. So and before DreamApply, and even now, in many cases outside of international admissions, we work as if we were 11 little separate universities. And DreamApply really helps to bring people to the same table, just because you have to like you use the same system, so you have to come to agreement, you have to talk to each other, you have to constantly work on solutions that serves everyone. And I think that it has a huge added value to the community building across the university, that there are teaching faculty people who join the platform to review applications, that the faculty admission offices, that the central office, that the marketing and the sales and the admission team has to work on the same platform. And I think it has an unexpected way of bringing people together. One of the features I would mention is definitely how we handle agents, or how agents can handle their applicants in the system, and how you can overview their roles and permissions, and how it's very transparent for them as well, if they can see that one of their applicants is stuck as some status. And on the other hand, we also see instantly how an agent is performing. The same goes for the big listing pages that everyone works with. I think that the how these pages are linked to DreamApply, and how we can measure the performance of these listing pages on DreamApply, I think it's very, very important, especially because more and more of these platforms are introducing basically performance-based partnerships with universities. So tracking performances will become more and more inevitable for these partners as well. And also, if you run any kind of online campaigns, you can also track that as well. And the other thing I wanted to mention is obviously the payment gateways. For us, it was a huge step towards the step forward when we introduced virtual POS payments on the platform. There are a lot of different service providers which are available in the system, and compared to regular bank transfer, it will speed up tuition fee collections by a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. And when it comes to paying the tuition fees, the end of the process, right? So it's right before visa application. So it's really important that the week or 2 weeks that you gain by that will make possible or not possible for the student to arrive on time. So I think this is also very important. And yes, we have a very smooth transition towards the student administration system that we use at the university. So when someone enrolls, it's really easy to just transfer their data. I think these are key features to use. It was always a lot of fun, and it was always a very good partnership, and it was a lot. I never felt that that bad gut feeling that you sometimes go, oh, I have to email them again. And I think this is very important, because whenever you choose any kind of partner in higher education, I think it's one of the most important things that you need to consider, that regardless of the exact service and the technicalities, I mean, to be fair, probably there are 2 or 3 or 4 other service providers that could do almost the same or exactly the same, right? Probably. But what should matter the most, once you are sure that the service is there, is that you have a say in who are going to be the people who you want to work with in the next couple of years on almost a daily basis. And it matters a lot. And I think in that DreamApply was always really good, that the quality of the people who work there are really good. I think that the growth of interest will be steady, especially towards Central Europe. It's very safe, still affordable. In the Schengen zone, you have amazing connectivity and opportunities to move around and do exchanges and whatnot. So I think this region will be more and more attractive. And obviously, we cannot hire an unlimited number of admission people. So from a technical aspect or from a process aspect, I would say that the future is in automation in many ways, to make sure that we try to try to make quick decisions on admission. And for that, I think universities have to be more and more transparent in terms of requirements, make it clear, make it, again, like as transparent and understandable as possible, stick to it. And based on that, you can make more and more, automated decisions. I think that And we touched base on that from a different perspective, but obviously AI is all over the place, and we already see how it's changing or how it affects the motivation letters of students, because you cannot keep up with everything. So I think that the main outcome of this is that the exact person and the exact personality will matter more, because everyone can do a fancy motivation letter. Almost everyone can score 6.0, 6.5 on an IELTS. So I think that the real personality and the real personal virtues and characters will become more and more important, and universities will somehow have to be able to take this into account, but also in a way to keep the process smooth, quick, and automated. I think that's the big challenge of the future that we need to somehow deal with. The current, video interview feature in DreamApply, which I think just started to use in some places, could be a really good way, because you get a taste of the person or a glimpse of the personality without the hassle of scheduling an interview across different time zones and availabilities and going in email back and forth whether 3 p.m. is good. Oh, I thought 3 p.m. Central European time, not Central East African time, whatever. So it's so I think that this feature will be a great help for us for that. And also it's a new feature, the messaging part in DreamApply. I think this could be also very good to again have shortcuts in communication. So two very important factors for universities. Most students, maybe three things. One is an international applicant is applying to an average 7 to 13 institutions in one intake. Number two, they would like to have a response to their application, a yes or no, within a week. And thirdly, students are usually enrolled to the university where they first hear positive feedback from. So everything is pushing us towards being faster and more reliable in that sense, and giving a quick feedback to students. And this is obviously an impossible job, but I think that these specific features of DreamApply can help us to do something about it. For students, it's really important that to apply through a platform that is very straightforward and easy to use. And I think that especially at the first phase of application, because when they are not that much invested into the application process, it's really easy for them to abandon the application if they feel uncomfortable. So I think, and also that because DreamApply is really smart in a way that the process starts before submission. So you gain a lot of data and you can get in touch students before they submit the application, and you see their process and you can measure where they got stuck in the process before even they got submitted. So I think, and when you interact them, it will, raise your submitted applications number, because in a lot of cases, an application platform, you can only see the applicant when they submitted already. So you don't know how many people have stopped just one click away from submission. So I think it's a very, very good tool in that regard, and it really helps you to grow. The other thing how it helped us is that the University of Pécs has more than doubled its number of international students in the last couple of years, and obviously we quadrupled the number of applications, and we were able to manage it with staying sane, and we obviously not quadrupled the people who were working on admission. So maybe 50% more people could handle 5 times, 6 times more applications, and this couldn't have been done without DreamApply. The tricky thing is that until you use DreamApply, you don't know what you're missing out, right? So that's the issue, that you have to see it to really wrap your head around like how much easier your job and life will be. I mean, in most institutions there are many study programs, many faculties, inquiries are coming in from left and right, and without DreamApply you will get stuck at a low-level firefighting job, just running from one last-minute issue to the other, just saving the day every day, 8 hours. And I think DreamApply will enable you to have a more strategic thinking and strategic planning on a university level as well, because it frees up a lot of workload, because it gives you statistics like this, and you can see that, okay, like I can see that I know that my application is open for 6 months, right? But I can see that the applications are actually, or the vast majority are coming in 2 weeks. So this is how I have to, do with HR that, this is the time when I have to invite in some students to do some extra work, helping the admission team or so. Or I can see how much time do student or applicants spend in certain application statuses. And I see that, at this specific faculty, it takes 3 weeks to schedule an interview on average. There is something we have to do with that. And I think this is very important because data-driven decision-making at the universities are more and more becoming a thing. And if you can be transparent about this data and see that, this is what's going on, like you can't deny it because these are the hard numbers. I think that it will enormously help the institutions to push policy changes internally, and it will help the well-being of the colleagues, and this will mean that more and more colleagues will stay with you as a university, as an employer. And I think that you can save enormous amount of money by keeping the good people on the ground and not hiring people always because they just burn out so quickly because of the enormous workload. So I think in a nutshell, DreamApply is a very complex tool, and it can affect your university far beyond admissions.